saying?
I'm saying it's unkillable.
What's up, guys? Boy Benny. You ever heard of confirmation bias? Pretty simple psychological phenomenon. It's when you take your assumptions about how the world works and then you see evidence of those assumptions and you say, well, I mean, there it is. I mean, this is how it is, right? This is the way the world operates. So let's say you had a group of people in America that believe that the justice system is rigged against them, and then they watch the justice system being rigged against super powerful people, and they go, well, the justice system's rigged. Really not that hard. And this is exactly what was warned about with Donald Trump and the persecutions of Donald Trump and going after Donald Trump legally. Chris Rock, of all people, told a joke at a Kennedy Honors celebration in Washington, D.C. that was cut, actually, from the live broadcast because it offended so many people in the audience, namely Nancy Pelosi. Chris Rock said, if you lock up Donald Trump, that you are going to make him Tupac. He's going to sell more records. You're going to make him more powerful.
Before I start, talk about Adam and the CNN people. You guys really gonna arrest Trump? Do you know this is only going to make him more popular? It's like arresting Tupac. He's just gonna sell more records.
Yeah, the amazing thing. Stupid, he says. We have to play you this like broken audio because they never will let that joke see the light of day. Chris Rock made that joke. Well, what was supposed to be a fully produced CNN live feed of the event, and they cut it because it offended too many Democrats in the audience who were planning on locking up Donald Trump. Chris Rock calling them stupid, and Chris Rock was right. It's amazing how comedians actually see through these things and how comedians actually understand what the realities of the world are more than any politician or political pundit. So Chris Rock was right. They did arrest Donald Trump. They did give him a mugshot, and that mugshot made Trump insanely popular and confirmed preconceived biases from certain communities in America that there is a rigged justice system, that there isn't actually justice, there's injustice that is weaponized by powerful people against people they don't like. Trump suggests his mugshot and indictments appeal to black voters, writes CNN in a major screeching screed. We were actually at this speech. We went and talked with black voters about it, and we'll show you that clip in just a second. But first, MSNBC doing the exact same thing, I guess to their great credit. Trump supporters in the crucial swing state of Georgia told MSNBC in a segment that former President Donald Trump's legal battles have made them more passionate about voting for him, and a guilty verdict would not impact their support. No, it's actually caused me to support him more. Oh, wow. I mean, it's not actually unbelievable. It's entirely predictable. Comedians, people on the internet could have predicted this, but Democrats, for some reason, are so bullheaded that they didn't see the boomerang that was about to happen here. Watch.
Well, guys, good morning to you. You know, this is one of the most closely watched counties here in the key battleground state of Georgia. So it seemed like the perfect place to come out and talk to Republican voters and see all of the coverage, all of the things that we're talking about with this New York hush money trial. How is it impacting them down here? So I spoke with about 5 different Republicans, and they represent a very wide cross section, a very diverse group of Republican voters here in this county. And I asked them, how are they being impacted by this trial? Are they paying close attention? And what impact might a guilty verdict have on their decision to support the former president? Here's what they told me. Take a look. Do each of you support Donald Trump?
I do.
Yes. Yes for all 3 of you? Yes. Has this trial changed your opinion, even caused you to waver or question that at all?
No, it's actually caused me to support him more. I just don't believe there's a coincidence that we have a trial happening in Atlanta. We have one happening in New York. So the question people are beginning to ask themselves, like I did, is like, why now?
It's pretty much everybody says they're picking on him. You know, people are tired of going after him, and you see it in so many areas. It's really not a big issue in the party. Actually, they're really making everybody mad, and they look at a big bully, and the government is the bully.
This is going to be your first time casting a ballot. What is it for you that drives your support of the former president?
I think always fighting me. He's taken so much just
defense from news and everything, but he still hasn't given up. He keeps fighting to do what's right.
I've talked to many people who formerly identified as a Democrat. They have changed their political persuasion to independent, and they are looking forward to voting for Trump because now they find something in common with a political candidate at that level.
When you say they find commonality, what is that commonality?
They have felt persecuted by the system of American injustice. And it's not a stretch for them to think that Trump may be a victim as well. People see that there's some kind of commonality between himself and maybe all the black men that have been incarcerated and the families that have been impacted by black male incarceration.
So you heard a lot there. That was the sum total of about 3 hours worth of conversation distilled down into those sound bites you heard. But let me just tell you a little bit about those voters. One of the people that you heard from was the chairman of the county GOP, the Republican Party here. We talked to a longtime volunteer, somebody who's out knocking on doors, talking to voters every single day. And then also in that group is somebody who is going to cast their ballot for the very first time this fall as a current 17-year-old. And so really what I heard among all of them, though, is that the trial only furthers their support of the former president in many cases, and that a guilty verdict would not impact their support.
Nice. What? Who told you this? All you had to do was listen to Chris Rock. You didn't have to listen to your boy Benny. You just had to listen to Chris Rock, who was standing there inside of Washington, D.C., in front of all of the Democrats that were persecuting Donald Trump and saying this will happen. And now it's happening, ladies and gentlemen. The mugshot has officially backfired. Now, that was MSNBC doing that reporting, and good on them for actually telling that story. CNN did the exact same thing. CNN went to a conference that was made up primarily of black people and asked about Joe Biden. So what's the other side of the coin here, right? So big time support for Donald Trump. What's the other side of the coin here? What do black people think about Joe Biden? Oh, man. So moving over to CNN, watch this wreckage.
2 years back.
The last 2 years have been really tough.
The pandemic and inflation have hit Americans hard, increasing long-standing disparities in some communities. And African Americans want the president's attention.
As a middle-class black woman, I don't see the push for the black economic community like really exploding. I think the message is being delivered, but I don't think the message is being captured in the way that we
that goes on. That goes on for another 7 minutes, and they don't get a single compliment about Joe Biden. There's not a single compliment in there about like, oh yeah, we think Joe Biden's doing great. We like it. We, the black people, like Joe Biden. There's not a single. They couldn't find a single person to be complimentary of what Joe Biden was doing. And meanwhile, what actual polling is showing over on ABC News is that Joe Biden is polling lower with young people, black people, and Hispanic people than any Democrat in the modern era. Joe Biden is losing to Donald Trump. The tie, Biden 37, Trump 37, as Hispanic, black, and younger voters shift to Trump. Ooh, baby. And this out from this morning. CNN and MSNBC and every outlet wrongfully accused Donald Trump of being racist for years. How'd that turn out? Yeah, Americans don't trust fake news. This from CNN from seconds ago at time of recording, saying effectively, listen, the support for Donald Trump among the black community has doubled. Who was right? Who was right? You got all these screechy headlines. Donald Trump's a racist. How dare he say that the mugshot's going to help him with black voters? Okay.
Weakest among black voters. When you look at this number, who are they?
Yeah, who are these voters? And let's break it down by age, because I really think this gives you a good insight into what's exactly cooking here. Take a look here. If you look among black voters age 50 and over, you see that Joe Biden has a very substantial lead here. Look at this, 82% to 8%. This lead is still in the 70s. This looks a lot like what we saw in the overall polling back in 2020. But look at voters under the age of 50. Look here, Donald Trump is pulling 25% of that vote. Joe Biden is at just 62% of this. This lead, Sarah, this lead is south of 40 percentage points. This is historic. This is what a lot of folks have been talking about, that Joe Biden has a specific problem among younger black voters. And that is exactly what's showing up right here.
Boom. Boom. I got to tell you, we did our best to do our own reporting on this, and we went to the conference where Donald Trump made the remarks that the mugshot will help him out in the black community. And we asked the people at this black conservative conference, what do you think about this? Oh man, the responses did not disappoint. Here's just a small sampling.
Why is there like such a culture around that mugshot within the black community?
I think it resonates with us because a lot of us go through the same stuff that he's going through.
I think the mugshot just adds more fun to it.
I think it's a statement saying that I'm willing to do whatever I have to do for the American people. I'm going to stand firm in my unwavering belief that I can save America. That's what I see when I see the picture of Donald Trump's mugshot.
I love this guy right here. Let me give this guy a hug right here. I love this guy right here. Yeah, come here. Yeah.
It just made it seem like if they can do that to him, we know what's happening in the black community. We know what's happening in the minority community, but it's happening to him. Oh boy, that just opened up the door to say, look, he's one of us now.
The black people are so much on my side now because they see what's happening to me happens to them.
For decades, they've been putting black men in prison for no reason at all. So same thing they're doing to Trump now.
I think the photo's iconic. I mean, you just look at it. This looks great.
Every time he's gotten attacked, what is happening? His polls have gone up. His popularity has gone up. He is the populist candidate. And I think it's kind of neat.
He's basically saying in his facial, he's giving you the middle finger on that. I mean, he's just saying, look, I'm going to still be here. I'm a fighter. I'm a scrapper. You can't, you got to do more than try to, just take me out of the game. I'm in this for real.
Donald Trump is the first president to do the most for black people than any other president in American history. So you might as well call him the first black president because he's done way more for black people than Barack Obama. And then how in the hell is it that we had a black president? We had a first black president, and he didn't do a damn thing for the black community. Then here you have President Trump. He comes along and do way more for black people than any president, than any Democrat.
Trump or Biden?
Trump.
Donald Trump. That's what we here for, Trump, man. Trump or Biden? Oh, damn, Trump, man.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Trump or Joe Biden?
So easy. A caveman can do it. Trump.
A caveman could do it.
Trump.
Absolutely Trump.
Trump all day.
Trump. What kind of question is that?
Donald Trump.
Trump. Donald Trump.
Obviously Donald Trump. That's a no-brainer.
Donald Trump, that's my man. President Trump just spoke.
Yeah.
What's the top takeaway from tonight?
The key takeaway for me was how devoted he is to making sure that the African American group, and I say African American, but really black folks, he wants us to support him so we can get our country back. That's it. And he wants people to understand that under his leadership, and when he becomes president again, we will all be better off. But this is a demographic that if he can take away from the Democrat Party, we can absolutely ensure our victory. And so that's why he's here, and that's why I'm here, to let people know that, look, do you want 4 more years of Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, or do you want 4 more years of what we had before we had Joe Biden, Kamala Harris? And I think that the answer to that question is pretty obvious in its own right.